So today I woke up with the motivation to clean part of the backyard, finish digging up the back, and just getting the garden to where it should have been like 12 months ago. And the more I've walked around, I've realized I can't do this before I do this, and then I really want to do this, and then I should probably do this, and it's just all getting on top of one another. So let me take you for a bit of a walk around and show you where my head's at and what's going on. So we still need to fill this garden bed, these ones with a bit more dirt. One of these, that's pretty full, and that's pretty full. It just needs topsoil, and a lot of that is still up here, but now, as you see, covered with weeds. The problem is, as you guys would have seen in other videos, we have a lot of obstacles in our backyard from projects half done, and I'm fine to dodge around them, but I'm just starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's here. We have things for projects that I was planning, and yes, and then this area has become a bit of a dump hole with moving things around, and because it's where our driveway is, I don't really want to pile stuff up. Let me turn you around. I'm thinking I could put it here, move the barbecue out the way, and then at least this is not in eyesight of the street. Because my plan is to hire one of the cheaper than a skip guys, just come and collect all the rubbish, take it away, but I want to make sure I just go take that pile. Apparently they pick up everything from the yard and pack it away, but I don't want them to have to do all the work, plus I want to make sure they're not taking something they shouldn't. I also want to pull the trampoline apart. It's a job. And I just don't want a whole lot of pile of rubbish in the driveway, because you can see it from the street. So I thought at least if it's packed here, it's kind of out of the way. And then that's space to sort, especially if I put metal stuff there. And then the metal guys can come and take all that away. They will charge if they have to pull that trampoline apart, so we have to pull that apart. But at least if I make a pile of scraps, I think that the scrap metal people will be able to come before the rubbish people come, because they're fully booked nearly for Christmas. I'm not expecting them to come before Christmas. It's just me thinking out loud the way that it will all happen. So at least I have that all sorted there. So I think I'm just going to do bits by bits, and then we'll see how we go. The weather is very overcast today, so that's why I thought I'd come out and do it. But yeah, I agree now, just get rid of the rubbish. I thought I could work around it, but I'm just getting really overwhelmed with everything, and I'm just starting to want it done. So let's go. So yes, of course, I always have a plan to do some projects, and I think that I did 9/10 of it, and I've just got a lot of leftover stuff. I was grateful that I was able to get rid of the leftover stuff from all the garden beds and things, but then I had some other pallets and stuff in the shed that you would have seen from the shed clean out, and I'll leave a link to that. And we thought someone was coming to collect a whole lot of stuff, but then they changed their mind, so we just keep moving stuff from one path to the other. And I have plans. There was a planter stand there, so I put that inside the shed, as well as one of the old tables that we will eventually use. I've decided that I'm actually going to use this space here to dump all the rubbish, and then they can come and collect it from there, because I checked on their Facebook page and they do go inside sheds and stuff like that. So at least this way it's kind of out of the way. And then what I've done in here, there was bits of metal, as you see, so I'm going in there and pulling those bits out for the metal collection guys, and then all the other hard rubbish will go inside there, because I'm noticing that when the gardener comes, he's just kind of mowing around, he's not moving anything, which is fine. I'm not expecting him to, but I just kind of thought it's just starting to get a little bit out of control, and I noticed that he's starting to go really wide around a whole lot of areas. And again, it's fine because I don't want any of his equipment damaged, but then that way it's starting to spill over to other areas of the backyard. So this way, if everything's picked up and gone, it can just be a pretty easy mow and whippersnipper, and then hopefully also I can get in there with the whippersnipper as well. I just come in for a quick break. Good thing I did. It's starting to rain. Okay, so it rained for about 4 drops. I went inside to get some breakfast and of course sat down at YouTube for like half an hour. Never ending. We're just gonna do a bit more for about half an hour and then I have to get ready and go and teach Zumba. So I'm gonna be so sore tonight, but I've already booked in the scrap metal collection for next week. So I really wanna get that done, and it's windy, so let's go. This part of the cleanup was probably the hardest with bending over because there's bits of wood, there's bits of metal. It's tied in between some of the grass that's grown and whatever that tree is. Also, you're trying to stomp around and make sure there's nothing living under there. So when you're moving stuff, you're aware of what might be coming out. And yeah, it's just a bit freaky because you think you hear things. So you're trying to pull stuff apart. Everything just kind of got dumped there. So now it's just a matter of, moving it all into its piles. So this tree has grown out of absolute nowhere. I'm not sure if it's a sprout from the cherry trees that used to be there. Surely not from the orange tree. But I need to kill it off again. And then once all the wood and stuff, there's still some metal in there, I can start putting some of this in the green bin and then digging. And then we've got more rubbish. So that's enough for now because I'm exhausted and I have to go teach Zumba class now. But you can see the pile of metal that we've got, and I'm using this now to dump all the rubbish. So I will eventually move all of that into there if there's space. If not, I'll just direct them where to go. Yeah, see you later. I am surprised that I did not need a PhD to pull apart this trampoline. I started it and thought, oh, I won't be able to move much of this myself, and then kind of jiggled around with a few things. Once I worked out the logistics of how to get all the poles off, I thought this is working well. Then we looked at trying to pull the mat apart, and it was funny. I started with a pair of pliers, and then inside the red toolbox was like this metal hook thing. I thought, oh, I'll use that, and then I realized I could pull on the springs and it would start releasing the mat. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. And then I realized at the end, is probably exactly what that tool is meant for, to actually pull the springs to put the mat in place. So yeah, a bit slow over here. And then most of the metal came apart pretty easily after that, so that was really good. So otherwise they charge a fee to pull it apart. So I'm really impressed and proud with myself that I was able to pull that apart. And then I've just picked up the second pile of rubbish that's here. Again, a mixture of wood and metal, and then trying to cut down whatever this tree is. I didn't quite get everything cut down, but I at least got all the metal and stuff pulled out. So now I'll be able to attack that tree and see what we're going to do with the area. Here's the massive pile of metal that we got. We cleaned out part of the other shed and we've pulled out all the old kids' bikes. We also have a really old water tank and some old guttering that should go. So I've sent photos to the scrap guy to say this is everything I need taken, just to make sure you've got some space, and that'll be really good when it's all gone next week. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this long-awaited garden update, and I'll see you next time. Bye.